Hello everyone, this is Cordebard. I'm an Enagic distributor, and today I just want to shoot this quick video to explain how to produce properly all of these waters from this amazing Kangen machine. Now, there is a manual that comes with the machine on how to do everything, but with the busyness in people's lives, I know that a lot of people don't get around to actually reading it, so they drink the drinking water, but they sometimes have trouble with the other water, and they're not, especially the 2.5 and 11.5. I've noticed that some people don't even, they're kind of scared to use it because they've never really looked at how to properly use it. So I definitely recommend reading the manual that comes with your machine to be able to use all these waters, because we use all these waters as much, if not more, than the drinking water. So definitely read what came with your machine, but I just wanted to also shoot this video because I hope that it will benefit some of you in how to properly produce all of these waters and get the most out of your Kangen water machine. So enjoy the video. Once you've installed and plugged in your machine, go ahead and turn it on by hitting the power button right here.
Power on, Kangen Water 8.5.
You'll be greeted by a voice and also a motion display. Now, an important thing to do when you first get your machine, and also whenever you're changing the filter, is to open the side panel right here and hit the reset switch. Now, what this does is it resets the filter of the machine so that the machine tells you when to change it when it actually needs to be changed and not beforehand. So go ahead and hit this, and the machine will tell you when you've reset the filter. Once you've done that, just close the panel back up. And now I'm going to explain all of the different waters that this machine makes. So the first water is the Kangen water, which is the drinking water, and it's right here, the 3 different pHs. So we have 8.5, and if you push this button right here, it changes the pH.
Kangen Water 9.0.
9.0 and 9.5. So just with the touch of a button, you're able to quickly change the pH of the water. Now, if I turn on the faucet, you will see that, for example, if I go to 8.5, so right now it's 8.5 water, and the Kangen water, or this water, comes out of the top hose right here. You will see that if I change from 8.5 to 9.0, that the light blinks a couple times. Now, what this does is basically, when you change from a pH to another pH level, it doesn't come out of the machine instantly. So if you're changing it from 8.5 to 9.0, it needs time to take out the 8.5 or to flush out the 8.5 that was previously in the machine before 9.0 comes out of it. So whenever you're changing the pH level, wait for the light to stop blinking, and once the light is solid, you could go ahead and take the water. Now I'm going to go ahead and test the different pHs of this water, or of the drinking water. And what comes in the box when you get your machine is this little bottle of pH drops. So I'm going to go ahead and go to 8.5. And an important thing to note also is, depending on the speed or the pressure of the water that's going through the machine, will determine how strong the water is. For example, if you run it a lot slower, the water will be stronger because it has more time to pass over the plates. Whereas if you run it faster, the water will still be strong, but if you run it, I know some houses have very high pressure on their faucets, so if it comes out very fast, the water will still be strong, but it might be a little bit less strong because the water doesn't have as much time to pass over the plates. So a good thing is to just run it at a medium speed, not too fast, not too slow. So I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to wait for the light to stop blinking so that it's 8.5 coming out of here. And I'm going to put some in this cup. Drop a couple of pH drops in here. And you can see that it's a light blue color, which is pH level 8.5. And you could also do this with your machine and your water to test if it's the correct pH. Now this is 9.0. I'm going to wait for the light to stop blinking. And now I'm going to test this one. You can see that it's a little bit deeper blue. It's like a blue-purple color. And this is pH 9.0, so that seems to be good. And the last one I'm going to test is the 9.5. And you can see that this one is a deep purple color. And that's exactly what you want. So all three of the drinking waters are the correct pH. And once again, if you're running the 9.5 and you notice that it's not as deep of a purple, just put the water pressure or the water speed down a little bit, because it probably is just that the water is running too fast in the machine and doesn't have enough time to pass over the plates. But this machine is amazing. I mean, you could run the water all day at a pretty fast speed, and I filled out hundreds of gallons, and the water always comes out alkaline, antioxidant, and all that other stuff. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and now I'm going to test the clean water. And this is this button right here.
Clean water.
This water is a pH of 7.0, and this water is not ionized, so it's not antioxidant, microclustered, or alkaline. It basically just goes through this filter, takes out the chlorine and all the impurities in the water, and then goes straight out the hose. So it doesn't run over the plates in the machine. What this is used for is you can use it for drinking, of course, but it's also used for when you take time-release medication and also baby formula and other things like that. Now, when you're taking nutritional supplements or vitamins or any of that, you definitely want to use the Kangen water, because it will bring it into your body and into your cells a lot faster. So now I'm going to test the 7.0, or the clean water. Wait for it to stop blinking. And you can see that it's a nice greenish, bluish color. The next water is the beauty water, or the acidic water. Now, this water right here is very useful. I personally use it every single day. You could put it in a spray bottle, such as this one, and just spray it on your face, your hair, your hands, wherever. And basically what this water is, it's a natural skin toner. So it's just water, but it's the same pH as your skin. So this tones and tightens your skin, and it's really amazing what it does for the skin. So I would highly recommend, you could either put it in a bowl and splash it on your face, or I find it a lot easier to just put it in a spray bottle and to spray it on your face. Now, I'm going to test this water. And this one, when you run it, it will always be blinking, and also there will be a beeping sound. And the reason for this is because this water is not made for drinking. Or actually, sorry, it doesn't blink all the time. It actually goes solid, but it will beep all the time because this water is not made for drinking. Now, if I test this pH, you can see that it's a yellow and slightly acidic, which is exactly what you want. And now for one of the coolest waters that this machine makes. And also, I find that with new people who get their machine, they have the most trouble with these two waters because if you don't know how to do it, it could be a little bit tricky, but it's very easy to use, and me and my family use it every single day. And that is the strong acidic and strong alkaline water. So when you press this last button right here, which says strong acidic,
water,
it's actually making two different types of waters. It's making a strong acidic water, which is 2.5 pH, which actually comes out of this hose right here. All of these other waters up to this acidic water for the skin comes out of this hose. But for this one, the 2.5 actually comes out of this bottom hose right here. Now, when you press this, it makes two waters. Like I said, the 2.5 strong acid water comes out of here, and the 11.5 very strong alkaline water comes out of here. Because, and I don't want to get too complex here, but the pH scale ranges from 1 to 14. So whenever you run a water, it's always splitting the water into two. It's always splitting the water from, for example, if I go to 9.5,
Kangen water 9.5.
Right here is 9.5 coming out of this hose, and the difference between 9.5 and 14 is 4.5. So 4.5 is coming out of this bottom hose right here. So it's always splitting the water between two different waters depending on what pH it is. So 9.0 comes out of here,
8.5.
or sorry, 8.5. If 8.5 comes out of here, then 5.5 comes out of this bottom hose right here. So now, if I go right here, you can see that if 2.5 comes out of here, the difference would be 11.5 coming out of the top hose. So now this water, to be able to make it, what you need to do is the machine, when you first get your machine, it comes with a bottle like this, and this is electrolysis enhancer. And all this is salt water. This is only used to make the strong acidic water and the strong alkaline water. This is not used in any of the other waters. But what this allows it to do is, with the salt in there, it's able to give it that extra charge that it needs to be able to make this strong of a water. Now, all you have to do is open up this bottle, screw this back on, and right here, just slide out this container, and then you just pour the whole bottle into there. Now, once you've poured the whole bottle into there, just close it back up, slide it back in here, and now every time you make the strong acidic water, it will take a little bit of the enhancer fluid and mix it in to be able to create this water. Now, this top thing right here is not very used. It's not used that often. This is to add calcium into the water where you're at, there is no calcium in the tap water. But in the United States and Europe, this isn't very used. It's not used very often, so you don't have to worry about this. The main thing is, and this is important, when you have this fluid, the enhancer fluid in here, you have to make sure that you do not tilt or tip the machine or move it a lot. Because if you tilt this and this fluid, when you tilt it, this fluid can go into the machine and basically damage it, and that's not covered in the warranty. So you can move it like this, just from side to side, and move it on the counter if you keep it straight. But if you're doing a big move or you need to tilt it, make sure that this is empty, or just take it out of there completely and then move the machine. You just want to make sure to not move your machine with this inside of it. Alright, now that we have that there, an important thing to note is, because I've had some people have trouble with making the strong acidic and the strong 11.5, so I'm just going to go over a couple of things to make sure that you're able to make it properly. First thing is to make sure that this hose right here is either level or below the machine. Make sure that it's not above the machine, because what this does is when you're making it, if it's above the machine, the water is not able to go out of it and it will go back into the machine and the water will not be strong 2.5. It will just be mixed with the 11.5, and so it won't be the strong pHs that you want. So just make sure that this is level or below the machine. The next thing is, alright, here I'm going to demonstrate it. So if I turn this on, an important thing before I show you this is also when you first put the enhancer fluid into the machine, or whenever you change it, the machine will say replace specified solution. And even if you put this in and you replace it, it will still say replace specified solution for a little bit, because the machine hasn't picked up that it has been replaced. So even if you've replaced it, just wait a little bit and that replace specified solution warning or that display replace specified solution will disappear after a little bit. So here it's making the strong acidic water, which is coming out of here, and the strong 11.5, which is coming out of here. Now this is the degreasing water. It's made to clean fruits and vegetables, to clean the house. It's the one that emulsifies the oil. And right here is the strong acidic water, which is made to disinfect and kill bacteria. Now you can see right here it says refill solution, even though I refilled it. So you just have to wait a little bit, and after a couple seconds, about 30 seconds or so, it will notice that you have refilled it and it will stop saying that. So now, while we wait for that, another thing to note, or I'm going to wait for that to finish first.
Refill specified solution. Refill specified solution.
So now that it stopped saying refill specified solution, you can see that this one also beeps because it's not made for drinking, but now it's making 11.5 or strong alkaline water here and 2.5 here. Now an important thing to note is that especially for this water, when you see it emulsify the oil, you want to make sure, because people come home and they try it and they're not able to make it emulsify the oil, or it's not doing what it does because they're not making it properly. So like I said, you want to make sure that this hose is level. Another thing is this water has to be run slower than the other waters, because this one really needs the kick to make it really strong. Now, when washing fruits and vegetables, you don't have to run it that slow. You could run it at a medium pace when you want to make the strong degreasing water to wash fruits and vegetables and clean the house. But if you want it really, really strong, where it emulsifies the oil, what you want to do is to make sure that both of these waters are coming out strong is to go over here to the 2.5, which is coming out of this hose, and if you take a cup and taste the water, it has to have a very strong chlorine-y taste. If it doesn't have a very strong taste, then the water is being run too fast and it's not as potent and it's not as strong. And same thing, if this one is very strong and tastes like chlorine, then the 11.5 is also very strong. So by tasting this water, you can know that both of these waters coming out here are the strongest they can be. Now another way to also test if the waters are coming out good, and this isn't as accurate, but if you take your fingers and under the 11.5 start rubbing them together, you can feel it emulsifying the oil on your fingers, and your fingers will start to slide a little bit as if there's oil on it. So those are two ways to test and make sure that both of these waters are coming out properly. But the most accurate is to taste this one, and if this one is strong, then both of these are strong. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off for now. Another thing while I'm at it right now, every 15 gallons, the machine will clean itself. So right here you can see that I turned off the water, and right here it says notice cleaning. So when this happens, you just turn on the water full speed, and for about 15 seconds, it will say that it's cleaning it. And so this basically helps to clean off the calcium on the plates and everything. So every 15 gallon, whenever your machine says it cleans it, just run the water and let it run, and after about 30 seconds or so, or a minute, it will go back to the water you had it on before. Now, as I was saying, an important thing, when you're running the 2.5 and the 11.5, you want to collect both of the waters, because you're going to be using these quite often, and it's a good thing to collect both of them so that you have them to use later on. So, for example, here in this black container, we fill up the 11.5, and at the same time, the 2.5, we would get a gallon container and just fill up the 2.5, so that whenever we need it, for example, for if you have toothache or anything, or if you need to disinfect something, you have a gallon of 2.5. And these two waters, unlike the drinking water, they last a very long time. We have 11.5 in these containers that have been there for about a couple months, and they're still as good. In fact, the longer you keep them in the bottle, the stronger they seem to get. That's another thing. When you want to make strong 11.5 that emulsifies oil, if you do all the steps that I shared before, make sure that this is level, run it very slow, and taste it to make sure that both of the waters are very strong, and you fill it up and it's still not emulsifying the oil. A good thing, which I noticed helps, if you put it in a container and you let the 11.5 sit in there for a day or two, it will actually become stronger, and within 2 days it will be able to emulsify the oil. So that's another thing, to let it sit. But as I said, that's only if you want to emulsify the oil, for example, if you're using the sesame oil to do the demo. But when you're washing fruits and vegetables, we fill up a big bucket type thing that we put on the counter right here, and we fill it up with 11.5 to take off the pesticides and herbicides and insecticides. And when you fill it up for that purpose, you actually don't have to run it as slow, because it doesn't have to be as powerful as it has to be when it has to just emulsify pure oil. When it's taking off the pesticides, it works just fine when you're running it at a slow, medium speed. So those are just a couple quick tips on running and using the strong acidic water. Now, as I said, you want to have this hose level with the machine, but also you want the machine to be level or above the faucet and not under it, because or else the water will have trouble going up. So you always want to keep the machine level or above it to produce the water correctly. Also, another thing is when you're making the strong acidic water and you're running it, Let's say you run it and you make it and you just turn it off and leave it. Now, it's not recommended to leave the machine with the strong acidic water inside of it. It's recommended to actually, once you've used this, right after using it, to go to one of the other waters and to flush out the strong acidic water that's in the machine. So that's another thing to keep in mind. To basically not leave the strong acidic water in the machine and always clean it out. I mean, if one day you do by accident, it won't do anything. Now, a couple more things to note is when you're on the strong acidic water and you go back to the drinking water, for example.
Kangen Water 8.5.
Let me go back here. So if you're running the strong acidic water and you go to a drinking water, you will see that it says that it's cleaning. And this is because it's getting rid or flushing out all the strong acidic and strong alkaline water out of the machine so that you don't drink that. So wait for it to stop saying that it's cleaning and for it to stop blinking and beeping, which takes about 30 seconds or so. So once that has finished and you see it stop, for example right here, once it says Kangen Water 8.5 and it stops blinking, that means you're good to go ahead and drink the water. Now when you're switching between any of these waters, it takes just a couple of seconds, about 5 or 10 seconds, but when you're switching from the 2.5 to any of the other waters, it takes a little bit longer because it has to, like I said, flush out this water to make sure that you don't drink it or anything. Now, if you do drink this water, it does nothing. It's not a chemical or toxic, but it's just recommended not to drink it because it is very high alkaline and acidity. But like I said, if you drink it, it doesn't really do much. Now, another thing to note is some people have asked me, do I leave my machine on or off? Do I turn it off at night or whatnot? So we've had our machine on every day, every night, all the time for about 6 years and still working fine. So this does not consume a lot of power if you leave it on. I don't know how much power exactly, but virtually nothing. So it's based on personal preference. If you want to turn it off at night, you could turn it off. If you don't, you could just leave it on all the time, and that's completely fine. And one of the last things I want to mention is, as you noticed, every 15 gallons the machine will clean itself, but also another way to clean the plates or clean the machine is if you go on the beauty water, and it's recommended to run this water for about 2 to 3 minutes at least once a day, because what this does is, again, I don't want to get technical, but it reverses the polarities of the pH. So basically, with all of the other waters, out of this hose comes alkaline water, and out of this one comes the strong acidic water. But when it comes to this water, it's actually acidic water coming out of here and alkaline water coming out of this one. So it reverses it basically, and this does something to the plates where it's able to kind of clean the plates. So I have noticed that if you run this 2 to 3 minutes a day, just at a medium speed, actually the water does taste better, and yeah. So again, quick overview. All of these waters, up to the yellow beauty water, comes out this hose. This water coming out of this hose for all of these is just discarded into the sink, or you could fill up bottles and give it to the plants, but it comes out of this hose, and the strong acidic water comes out of this hose, and strong alkaline comes out of this hose when you press this button. Of course, I would recommend reading the manual and the papers that come with the machine, but I've noticed that some people don't, and then they don't know how to properly use all the waters of the machine. So again, my purpose with this video is to help my team and anyone who has an Enagic machine to be able to use all of these amazing waters that it creates, because not only the drinking water, but we use all of these waters, especially the strong 11.5 and 2.5. We use it for laundry, for cleaning, for toothaches, the 2.5. But yeah, just want to do a quick overview so that you can properly use your machine and have all the benefits and use all the waters that this amazing machine provides. Now, in the box, when you get your machine, there is this chart right here. And this is very useful, especially in the beginning, to tape up on your wall, because it's, let me put this down. It actually shows you what waters come out of what hoses when you press the different buttons on the machine. So this is very useful, and you also have a pH chart right here, and it tells you what the different waters are used for. So this is a really neat, handy thing to just tape up near your counter. Also, there's this paper that comes with it, and for example, if you're cooking rice or any kind of grains or small particle type food, it's important to not put this hose into the water or the bucket or whatever that has the grains in it, because the grains might go into the hose and then get stuck in the hose or the machine. So I would recommend reading all the papers that say caution, or for example, there's a paper on not tilting your machine when there's the strong enhancer fluid. So definitely, this is just a quick overview of the different waters that this produces. I would still go over all the paperwork, or not all the paperwork, but just go over the things that came in the box with your machine. And this is the SD501. It will differ or be different depending on what machine you have, but hopefully this has helped you. And in another video, I will be showing you how to clean the machine using the cleaning cartridge.